Hello and welcome to another modelling video. This is Alan from the McConnor Man at YouTube with another model video. Today going for a popular topic from the grimdark Warhammer 40,000 universe. A lore heavy roleplay game built around some amazing art and a long history of amazing miniatures and interactive shops with tables, painting and gaming. My introduction was the early 2000s and I thoroughly enjoyed Astra Militarum, or commonly known as the Imperial Guard back then. I mostly enjoyed the armour and tanks. The merchandise and resources has always been quite expensive, especially of late unaffordable for many. The injection moulded models may be incredibly detailed and fantastic products. This would be my take of a budget way of entering the hobby. I'll be finishing the Hydra tank, more so in a less detailed, closely resembling the old Hammer version. Finding an STL file is easy enough, Cults or Thingiverse. Quality, detail and proportion varies from design to design, some are broken down into parts. I scaled up an epic scale model, still a bit small but there are varieties and variants in the deeper lore. I'm going for FDM printing to show the cheapest and most accessible tools can produce acceptable results. The machine I'm using is the Creality Ender 5 Plus, a large bed that can do very big single piece models. You can find models in parts and use a much smaller affordable machine, or even break the model down yourself in a slicer software. You can afford to cheap out on a 3D printer, but you should not with filament. The key for the smoothest results is the best filament you can acquire. Locally manufactured is a good start. Second key is slicing with the appropriate orientation and supports for the easiest cleanup and less layer line distortion. All of this comes with experience and performing many prints. I like cutting the model in half, very few supports, gluing it together and filling the seam. Least amount of work and wastage of material. Resin is another option and my preferred, but at a cost of safety, material costs, environment and location. In short, not accessible to many. To smooth out for a finished model appearance, I'm using automotive filler primer or spray putty in a rattle can. It will build up heavy deposits of a very thin putty and remove or cover any issues, layer lines and imperfections. It could be sanded down to its original detailed. A few coats may be needed. Sanding with the right descending grits and pressure can make quick work. Again, all comes with experience. This process considers budget but also repetition. You'll want to make several models, mostly the same and painted the same, which burnout can occur. Some products like rattle cans are selected for convenience and speed. Moving along, and not usual to my normal style, I utilized a cheap enamel rattle can just to get a base coat and a color on all pieces. Pulled out the airbrush and stepping down in colors and shades, shading two tones of lighter colors in a downward fashion. You can be a bit sloppy, it's not too important as it's just for definition and cascading light effect across the model. It will make it look a lot better. Shading does not use a lot of paint and it's very quick as all the details and little nooks and crannies are already covered by the rattle can. You can skip this step and go straight to detailing, though for more visually stunning piece or to match popular schemes or chapters, camouflage is a bit more technically involved with the airbrush, where you would master spraying thin lines and a bit of control. This has a wavy pattern and in between the two colors a very thin line, so this variant is very advanced. Still, nothing a beginner should fear and could pick up in a very short period of time. Masking is a bit of a pain, so we're going to utilize all three forms of painting techniques and use hand painting for the metal bits, weapons track small details and lenses with a fine brush. This is done very quickly and neat enough that no one will notice anything out of the lines or poor workmanship. To bring everything together, utilizing a enamel paint, everything prior was lacquer, we'll heavily thin it down or use a weathering wash. This is coated over the entire model and capturing detail and blocking the model all out with panels and an enhanced effect to the light shade. If you didn't bother sanding or filling the layer lines, you may want to step this. And lastly, after a few days of drying, a rattle can or airbrush, your choice, a matte clear to remove any gloss and sheen and give it that drab, dirty, lived-in military look. I'm more of a finer scale modeler and put in a bit of detail to make pieces that are more for observing and displaying, looking at, than utilizing on wargaming boards and playing, though it still doesn't stop you from making models that are very appealing to look at and functional. What I did really wanted to use was two-part finishes, automotive. This gave a lot more durability to be handled by hands and the paint not to wear out as quickly. Ideally, this exceeded what I needed done and pretty happy with the finish. Thank you very much for watching. As always, until next time, stay tuned for further content and we'll catch you guys next time. See you later.